Also, I don't know if you saw my macOS video.
I probably watched it. I did watch it actually. It's the bar's red.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't remember anything from it. It was a long time ago that it came out.
yeah, well, yeah, it was a really big video. It was a 50-minute video,
Yeah.
and I can to make it short,
Mhm.
it was like I put so much time into macOS to make it like usable for me. I had so many issues with it because
Mhm.
one was usability,
Mhm.
which was I just I discovered that macOS by default, so without any third-party software, is
Mhm.
quite limited in terms of what you can do in terms of window management.
Yep. Yep.
Um, like some people say that, so many people say that actually it's just that I'm using macOS like it was Windows or something like that,
Mhm.
which maybe is true in the beginning, but now I know exactly how to use macOS,
Mhm.
and it's still limited. It's like you can't use shortcuts to move windows around, for
Mhm.
example, and things like that. Like you can't resize windows or snap them into anything with shortcuts only, for example,
Mhm.
natively, unless you download third-party applications. So
Mhm.
essentially, in the end, I downloaded or I installed Yabai, which is a
I had that open right
tiling
now.
window manager on macOS.
Mhm.
And essentially, I started using macOS as if it were a tiling window manager based um, setup, essentially. Well, it was.
Mhm.
And I actually quite liked it in the end. Like the final setup I had was pretty good. I would still use it happily every
Mhm.
day. But there were a few other issues as well with macOS that I had. Well, still have. I still have the computer, but I just have. I built a different computer by now as well. But
Ah.
um, I just won't go too that deep into it in this video because I made the video if people want to check it out. And essentially, the main issue I have is that if I'm using a MacBook,
Mhm.
I need to have two computers because I can't do everything on a MacBook because it does not support, for example, 32-bit applications, even if they
Mm.
are native to macOS. And I didn't know that when I actually bought the MacBook. And sure, I could live without 32-bit applications. I actually use some like older games and stuff like that for recording footage for my videos sometimes.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I would
Okay.
need to use a different computer for that. Even like
Mhm.
emulators, like Parallels, which is like a Windows emulator, don't run certain software. For example, if I want to make a VR chat segment for my Japanese learning videos, I can't because Easy Anti-Cheat was added to VR chat, which does not support a like ARM architecture, even on like the Windows emulators and stuff like that.
So
So I
stupid.
need to have two computers. And the other issue was that for video editing, the performance is really good.
Mhm.
It really is good, but it's not good enough,
Mhm.
like for me, because essentially my video editing is a bit different from most people in the sense that I use a lot of screen recordings and a lot of assets and a lot of motion graphics in my videos,
Mhm.
and the even if it is really good for like performance wise, really good for like editing 4K camera footage,
Mhm.
it's still going to be really bad when I try to like do a lot of motion graphics where I need to like, for example, do a small animation
Mhm.
that I need to keyframe, and I perhaps need to like change the timing of the keyframe by a few milliseconds and see what kind of a difference it makes, like 100 times until I'm happy with it. And
Mhm.
if I need to like, if it lags every single time, unless I like cache it, which is going to take a really long time because DaVinci Resolve doesn't have completely manually controllable caching, unfortunately,
What?
then it's a huge pain to work with hardware that's not as powerful as possible.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to say this right now because I know there's every time I say this, there are going to be comments about this. There are people who say that on DaVinci Resolve there is manual caching because if you set the caching mode to user,
Mhm.
then it's user-based caching, hence the name.
Mhm.
But the thing is that I've actually read the manual, and user-based mode, like user caching, does not cache certain effects. It doesn't cache like motion graphics effects at all. Only the automatic quote unquote smart caching does that, and it's not like direct enough. So I essentially need hardware that's as powerful as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I had two choices. I need two computers if I want to keep the MacBook. So I'd need to either have a Windows computer,
Mm-hmm.
like a desktop, or
Mm-hmm.
I should get a Windows laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I need a laptop is because maybe I'm going to go abroad very soon and for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to need to have a laptop for that because I need it to be portable.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, like, at one point I started researching Windows laptops because the 4000 series, like NVIDIA 4000 graphics card series laptops came out like a few months after I had bought the MacBook. But the issue with those was that they were so incredibly expensive when they came out. Like, I'm talking the 4090 ones were minimum 4,000 to well over 5,000 euros here. And
yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were like so expensive. Like, literally, they made MacBooks look like budget devices. Like, I'm not even joking when I said that. Like, MacBooks genuinely had really good price to performance compared to those Windows laptops. And my issue with that, with the price, is not only that, like, it's not the best price to performance, but it's also like the build quality and design of most of those Windows laptops is like horrible, in the sense that they're like, they are actually like budget gaming laptops that are really plasticky and RGB, but the price is still like over 4,000, which is like really like it's just sad in a sense.